Cobras invading, Vipers on the attack. Here comes Sergeant Slaughter, better watch your back. Sergeant Slaughter, he's the greatest hero. G.I. Joe Classified Sergeant Slaughter comes with everything you see here. Cobra Viper 3-pack reviewed and sold separately. From Hasbro. Wrestling Hall of Famer, WWF Heavyweight Champion, and voice actor, Robert Rudolph Remus has been entertaining the world through one medium or another for over 5 decades. Originally rising to fame through professional wrestling in the late 70s, early 80s, and even into the 90s, Remus established a reputation for himself as a tough contender, a champion, and a legendary name. That name, Sergeant Slaughter. Fitting for the successful career he found in wrestling, metaphorically slaughtering his competitors in the ring. Slaughter's success, prominence, and military theming caught the attention of G.I. Joe and resulted in a version of Slaughter appearing in the animated adventures to fight alongside G.I. Joe's greatest, even having the opportunity to go head-to-head against the evil Serpentor. Though Remus, or Slaughter, never actually served in the military, he has provided positive messaging and entertaining depictions of military personnel that helped cement his status as sergeant in every fan's heart. Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, aka JK of JK Collects, and remember, I'll be posting a new video at least twice a week, if not more. If that sounds of interest to you, please click that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. In this episode, we are taking a closer look at the Hasbro 6-inch scale G.I. Joe Classified series, Sergeant Slaughter. Hey everyone, welcome back. Here he is, the man himself, Sergeant Slaughter. Or I'm going to go ahead and put it in your minds, Sergeant's Laughter? Think about it. Okay, Sergeant Slaughter, here's our guy. You know that, oh, I'm so excited about this. What a legendary character in the G.I. Joe world, right? So here he is. Here's some renderings of him, so we get to see what the actual figure looks like for the first time in person. We're going to do that together. But a render of him just being a boss. Here he is with everything that he comes with, even the mini-me action figure version of him that they advertise. Here are his skills. Look at that. That is obviously strength and power, and of course he's high ranking on that. Right, so there we go. What a cool dude, Sergeant, yeah, okay. Sergeant Slaughter, let's look at the side. There's our ranking and skills yet again. This is 53. We are climbing in those numbers. Look at that. Look at that beautiful artwork on the side. So we get this on the side, right, which is great. So we're used to that with the normal plastic packaging that we were getting before, but we get more works over here, right? So like a comic book shot, a shot from the show, a shot of the real dude himself, and then a drawing of a hand holding a drawing of the figure. So I mean, how cool is everything that's going on here? And then this massive drawing, which we've got the blast effects behind him to kind of bring back that nostalgia tug of the retro look. And there's our dude yet again, so Sergeant Slaughter. Clearly, I'm very excited. You know what, let's just bust into this box. Hopefully, you're equally as excited, and I'm not going to delay this opening anymore because, wow, how fantastic to have Sergeant Slaughter in the legitimate classified line. All right, let's pull, oh, there he is. Look at that, coming out with mean mugging everybody. Wow, so much that I just knocked my lights everywhere. Okay, so there he is, just mean mugging as soon as you pull him out, so you know he's serious. He's not messing around. But let's put him to the side here for just a second. That's it's an intimidating mean mug, and he comes with the weapons crate style, right, that comes out of the box with his name on it, Sergeant Slaughter. We're going to pretend like we know the access code, number 53. Let's pop into this, right? The access code that you key in is cut the tape. That's what it stands for. So we're cutting that tape, and we're popping right in. Let's see what we've got. Let's get our prizes out of here. Okay, so again, we've got a combination of, there's the prize in the box. Look at that, literally prize in the box. There is our Hasbro pamphlet. Thank you so much, Hasbro, for never letting us down on that pamphlet. I'm gonna move those over to the side because we're gonna start with the paper. Seems like the paper always has some pretty exciting stuff in it. So it's sealed on all ends. We're gonna open it like a bag of chips, and we're gonna dump it out. There we go. Okay, so that's all for the paper. And what do we have in here but a bunch of different hands and fists, right? So we've got 2 fingers pointing, or finger guns, whatever you want to say, right? Well, Sergeant Slaughter giving some praise or giving some commands or pointing to the sky, right? So there we go. We're just, you know, maybe a little Saturday Night Fever, right? Whatever you want to do, you've got options because there's one set of hands. Here we've got another set of hands, some grip, some weapons grip, right? So he's ready to hold on to some things for you. Whether it's his own or whether he beats up some vipers and takes weapons from them. Don't know if that's a thing he does. And then look at this. Look at this mean claw grip that we've got going on there. How would you like to see Sergeant Slaughter charging at you, the big beast that he is, with these claw fists coming at you? Yeah, I don't think I could run fast enough the other way, but that is fantastic. And well sculpted hands, right? So let's just take a closer look at one of these hands, right? Just to see all the detail. I mean, it's nothing new. Nothing new with these Hasbro 6-inch scales, especially the G.I. Joe classified line, to see all this amazing detail. So much work put into these things. I am eternally in awe when I pull. I mean, you've got veins showing through, fingernails are visible. You can almost read his palm, right? So they even took the time to add where, you know, when you're doing that, see, lots of things happen to your hand. They added it on this hand. How much sculpting detail and minuscule effort does that take? That's amazing. And I don't mean the effort was minuscule, but it's dealing with micro things. Okay, and here we've got looks like we've got a little scope floating around in there. Okay, so one thing to kind of keep an eye out on, depending on what you're opening this over, be mindful, because that is a very small piece that could easily also be lost. So there, it looks like we've got a little bit of a scope that came out of there. Here's the hat, the legendary hat, right? How many of us want a hat like this and wish we could rock it? Look at that, we've got, boom, the ranking insignia there on the top. Look at him go. That is fantastic, and it's painted well. All right, so we've got nice gold paint on it. I can't really see. Let's see if we can get it a little bit clearer. The gold is done very well, but when I get it that close with the camera and with the focus, I can see the very point of the chevron has a little bit of brown on it that kind of made it through. So the gold didn't quite hit everything. And there in the middle, of course, you know, we got the gold there. But yeah, again, when we're that close, I don't know if you can tell exactly how close we are because of the horrible look of my thumb and all that. But that's how close you have to look to see the issue on that chevron. So there we go. I mean, the hat, fantastic. Cast in a rubbery brown plastic. So it's very flexible, so you don't have to worry about breakage or many issues. And here, a magazine, you know, to go along with that scope that was in there. So we've got a weapon, is what we're alluding to in one of these cardboard boxes. But here, this is one of the things I was most excited for. Beyond the figure itself is the figure beyond the figure. Look at that. This thing is tiny. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a size comparison. So that's a fist. That is a G.I. Joe Classified Series fist, and that is the toy. Right, so there you go. There's a good size comparison for you. Or if we want to bring the hat in, they made this thing so tiny. World's smallest G.I. Joe. And I mean, it's got the plastic bubble. You can take this guy out of the pack and put him back in, and look at the artwork back there. Fantastic, right? Total nostalgia of the old 3 3/4 G.I. Joe. So that is fantastic. Well done on that. That is, when I saw that, when they did the first reveal, I knew I was sold. I was sold for, I mean, it doesn't take much to sell Sergeant Slaughter, right? If you're a fan, or just period. We got a nice little baton here. A little bit of curve to it, but again, it's plastic and just standard type of plastic, so a little bit of heat and it'll go right back to normal. I do love the gold ball on the end, just the little details on that, and the little ribbon or string coming from the end there, and the grip. This is not something I'd want to be hit with. But yeah, let's see. Let's get it in the camera here as close as we can, because it looks like to my eyes there's an issue with the gold, but maybe I'm just making that up because I can't spot it here close up on the camera. I think it's just, oh, you know what? Maybe right there. A little bit, just a little bit of an issue, because even that close I can kind of see. It might just be some reflection, but no, it's kind of staying there. Okay, but you know what? No big deal. I'm not going to complain about it. So right there, a little bit of an issue with the gold paint app, but the rest of it came through just fine. Even this tiny little bit of the string that's attached to it. I need to stop blocking the light so much. It might help us focus. So there we go. Even that is coming through as black. So well done on that. Let's take a look at the whistle. All right, whistle on a necklace. I know I cut this tape, but it's double taped, right? So that's our issue. Let me see if I can work it out carefully without pulling. Don't want to test the strength of something so thin. So there's our whistle, also painted in gold, right? So good, excellent on tying the colors together, right? So on a brown rope, it is flexible, but it's not terribly flexible. I think the paint that's on here kind of tightened it up a little bit, but it's definitely flexible enough that you can get it over his head, or you can pop the head off and put it on with no issue. It doesn't really seem like it's fragile, right? Because if we push on it, no real issue there. It's working just fine. Paint apps seem okay on it. It's another one of those, if you get super close, of course, you're going to find something, but you have to get that super close, some casting flash and things like that. But again, we are super close. Let's open up the next piece of cardboard very carefully, because I don't want to cut anything that's in there. So let's come in that way and just do it like that. And I'm going to go ahead and slice this third one so that we're ready to go when it gets time to do that. Okay, and look, it already wants to come out. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Now we can put all those pieces together, right? I'm going to go ahead and assume that this goes right here, hopefully. You know, maybe I'm doing it. Am I doing it backwards? No. Doing it right. Let's see. There we go. Just takes a little bit of effort, right? Get it in there. And will this go on? I don't know. Looks like it. Maybe. That seems pretty far back, doesn't it? Maybe there's something else. You know what? We'll play with that later. But there we go. One weapon, well done. We've got some nice blue wood inlays for it, right? For the handles, for the stock, and for right there, a little grip. Solid looking piece of machinery, if you will, right? So good, nice big weapon for Sergeant Slaughter without being too big. I like the tiny little blue or brown dot right there. So this is the kind of stuff that we like to see, right? A little bit of extra detail on there. Always the possibility of some of like a slightly blacker than blue wash or something to kind of draw out a little bit more of the detail or show that it's got a little bit of wear or a little bit of use. But you know what? It looks fantastic as it is, or maybe some gray. All right, now let's check out this third one and see what we got. Oh, of course. The aviators. Yes, it's not Sergeant Slaughter without these. How could I even forget that I had not exposed or seen the aviators? So they are in a brown frame with the silver lenses, and it looks like that silver paint has come through quite nicely. They did a very good job on that. Even up close, it's hard to find anything to really have anything to report on, right? Backs are in brown, but you know what? That is totally fine because those would be right up against his face. And that is it for our cardboard packaging. So now it's time to bust old Sarge himself loose. There's our guy. Okay, let's see what we're looking at here. Will these come loose quickly enough, or do we need to cut them? I appreciate that there's not tape additionally holding it in place, because that does make things a little bit more difficult. And it's also adding plastic. You know, I know I've mentioned it multiple times that the tape does add plastic in the plastic free, but it does add a little bit, and the less we can use, the better, especially when we've already got these things holding it. So there we go. He is free. We'll put this little cardboard piece to the side, the tray. Look at that guy. Look at that, man. That was just a little bit of cardboard paper on there. I mean, what a huge dude. Intimidating. Absolutely intimidating. Still doing that mean mug look, right? Old Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, let's break it down. So let's check out his head, right? So side to side, not a whole lot. The neck, as you can see, is separate from the torso. So that does add a little bit of flexibility, kind of, a little bit of movement there. But, you know, that side-to-side rock, there's not a whole lot. I guess he's not really going to cock his head to the side too much. He's not going to question. He's just going to command. Up and down, pretty good, especially in the profile, right? So he's looking up pretty well there. Not a straight shot. Down, if I have it up and I move it down, it seems like it's moving a lot. But in the profile, he's just looking straight forward. So not a whole lot for down. But let's find out about the true question. Can he do it? Yep. Old Slaughter. He can full on exercise. Of course there's nothing that he can't do, right? We've got a butterfly joint right here, obviously showing on that. So we've got good flexibility for the arm. It goes back pretty far. Good rotation there. Bicep and tricep, bicep and massive tricep swivel / rotation there. So that's good to see that. Double elbow. Kind of surprised to see pins on here, but you know what? I'm not going to fault anybody. That's some excellent flexibility. He's ready to speaking of flexibility. So there we go. right? He's ready to show off those guns. Hope everybody bought tickets. But no forearm rotation, right? Because you'd be able to see a seam right there. The wrist moves pretty well, and we've got the forward and backwards going on for this one. Right, so not full wiggle, but we got the forward and backwards. Same flexibility over on the other side as usual. Same rotations and all that. And this one also has the forward and backward and full rotation capability. So there we go. And we've got, as you can see, with this seam here and a nice click. So it has snapped. It's not just full on free. It actually has, I guess, detents inside there, just kind of holding it in place, which is good, right? So you've got 3 different positions of posability for that, but it's going to hold it in that pose, however you do it, right? However he's doing sit-ups, or flying through the air, or standing straight up. Waist, yep, we got a nice waist swivel there. Legs, does it? Yeah, we got a little bit of that pull-down action to help give it the Sergeant Slaughter. So we'll get that full on. There is no doubt that this guy can split. If Jean-Claude Van Damme can do it, Sergeant Slaughter can do it. Just picture 2 trucks right here, and he's holding them separate with his split. So there we go. It's good to see the legs pop down because it gives such flexibility. Thigh rotation right there, kind of helped disguised by the pocket and used in the green, not really separating any of the camo. Double knee, double pinless knee, I should say. So cool to see that. This top one doesn't want to move very easily, but can I pop it loose? That one may take a little bit of effort, but I believe in it. Okay, I'll deal with that. There it goes. There we go. A little bit of leverage. Good flexibility, right? Can't be mad about that. Old Sarge, especially being so muscle bound. Usually it kind of deters a little bit of flexibility. No real high calf rotation, but right here, right? So halfway down towards the bottom of the calf, we've got some rotation on the boot. So a good place to mask that with that natural boot line. Foot up and down, and we've got that good ankle breaker swivel going on. So same thing on the other side. Now let's check out some of the paint apps on the man himself, Sergeant Slaughter. What excitement to have him already gracing this line. So here we go. Let's get a closer look at the old head and see what we got. So good job right on the face. That face sculpting is just fantastic. I can't mention mean mugging quite enough. And the photorealism that they've done on there, there's no mistaking it. This is the Sergeant Slaughter. Got a little bit of pinkish red for the lips, in the frowny scowl, pushing the mustache up just right. The eyebrows are well done. The eyes gaze into your soul and completely judge it from the inside out. Hair, well done, right? The hairline is pretty solid. It's got like little bits right there. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it almost looks like tiny little bits of imperfection like any hairline would have, but solid sculpting in the actual hair itself. So well done on the head. I'm going to give that a good check. I don't know if that was intentional or not. If it was, great. If not, then there's a little bit of brown issue right there, but that's okay. That's okay. The paint of the torso matching the plastic, not a terrible job. It seems like there's maybe a little bit more of a red-ish in it than the plastic actually has, but also the plastic sometimes almost looks like it mismatches. But overall, from a distance and looking at it, right, nothing really, it's hard to say that there's an issue with that. Now, looking more closely at the torso, what I will say, excellent texture on the tank top, but if you look up here, we definitely have some sloppiness on the paint, right? So we've got some flesh tone bleeding over into the black, and almost a little bit of black bleeding over into the flesh tone, especially over here. See where that's either, I'm going to say that it was maybe cast in black, yep, and then some of the flesh tone is just not quite thick enough to cover all the black, and it just kind of missed the mark a little bit there. But you know what, that's okay. Again, you got to be pretty close to tell. Although some of this, in knowing that it's there, you can see the black shining through. It does help when the focus is working with you. I can see it in real life, but if I don't focus it, you can't see. So I need to be more mindful of that. Okay, now belt. Looking all right. Let's get nice and close on that. Gold. Pretty good. A little bit of white underneath. I don't know if that could just be belt shining through, but a little bit of white peeking through that. The white seems inconsistent. Some of the green shows through right by the loops, so it didn't quite get all of it. and there's a little bit of a crookedness here on the back. I appreciate that it was painted all the way to the back. I appreciate that we've got camouflage that ties from leg to, well, buttocks on the back, and the camo was still painted all back here. They didn't skip on that, and they didn't skip on the belt. But the belt paint apps, little bit of an issue there, right? So some of the white got up there. Looks like I have a little bit of a scrape of some of the paint being taken off, but that's okay. It's a toy, right? It's an action figure. And then the camo, the texture of the pants in the green, looking great. Definitely an excellent choice for Sergeant Slaughter to use these pants, these legs. The boots are looking good. Could always use something, right, to highlight the laces, just to kind of define them a little bit differently, not say that they're always just green. They could have been a black, they could have been a darker green, but that's just being nitpicky. Textures are good. The camo brown apps are very good. These little buttons on here, they could have been highlighted into some other color, a darker green. But again, right, nitpicky. If that's what it is and I can get that nitpicky, I'm going to say they did a fantastic job. And that's what I'm going to stick with. They did a fantastic job on this character, as to be expected because of the legend that he is. And I don't think that they would do anything less for Sergeant Slaughter. Now this I'm happy to see, right? The glasses, there's not anything in his head for them to stick into, right? There's nothing. There was no little open spot or anything like that, and there was no tab on the glasses, but they are just tight enough that they stay. They stay with no issue. Let's see if we take the hat off. See, they just stay, and they don't really poke out that much. They just stay in place. So they are that well made that they're just going to stay on the head. I'm happy about that. Okay, I'm not going to harp on the glasses staying anymore. I'm going to put the whistle on, and we're going to see how well he stands on his own and how quickly. Hopefully it's as good as those glasses behave. I said I was done talking about them. We'll just call them aviators so you don't have to hear me say that word anymore. Okay, let's focus on him. Let's see how quickly Sergeant Slaughter, just like that. Of course he does. Of course he stands that well. Okay, there he is. And we will be back with some 360 views of the one and only Sergeant Slaughter. Well, here we have our 360 views of Mr. Slaughter in a few different poses there. I hope you enjoy it. Again, absolutely fantastic figure. I recommend it to anyone. If you don't already have it on pre-order, definitely do so, and keep your eye out with some of the retailers because obviously they do pop up for regular purchase. But pre-orders, I believe, are still available all over the place, so grab yourself one. You will not regret it. It is an amazing figure, an amazing legendary icon. And one last final view to show with you, just to display this stand that I got from Tosche Station Emporium. You can find them on Instagram. I'm going to put them in the description for this video so that you can locate them, pick up some of these stands yourself. They have excellent mounting capabilities, a lot of foot pegs, and as you can see, we've got that blast effect behind it. How cool is that, right? And that just, it slides into the base. You can get the base with or without that effect, but I mean, come on, talk about that retro look. You put that in there, and it's like they're right there on the package, you know, and you got Slaughter holding Slaughter in front of the blast, in front of the blast. It's so meta. But there you go. Check it out. Tosche Station Emporium. Thanks. Well, that about does it. Thank you for checking us out and for joining us on this collecting journey. As always, look for a new video each week, if not more, and be sure to subscribe and click that like button. It would really help us out, and it would mean a lot to me. If you'd like to see some more videos, there are a couple of quick links on your screen right now for you to check out. No matter what, thanks for taking the time, and we are all in this world of collecting together. Let's look out for each other. Thanks.